Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first session of the fourth quarter game plan. Get your finances ready for year-end success series. I am Dr. Larita Jones, and over the next few or several weeks, I'll be guiding you through some essential strategies to help you close out the year strong. Whether you're leading a nonprofit organization, managing a childcare center, or you own running a cleaning business. All right. So today's topic is a critical one. All right. It kind of picks up from the last one. We're going to talk about organizing your financial records for maximum efficiency. So we all know that disorganized finances can definitely lead to stress, right? It can lead to missed opportunities and even can lead to some legal issues, right? And we don't want that, right? So, but getting things in order doesn't necessarily have to be overwhelming, all right? It just takes a few strategies to get started, right? So let's dive in and start with why organizing your records is so important. All right. So let's talk about why this matters. Well, for nonprofit leaders, you need to ensure that your finances are transparent for donors and that they're compliant with grant requirements, right? So disorganized books can jeopardize future funding, but get this, it could also jeopardize current funding. Okay. Donors do have the ability and the right to revoke current funding if you are not adhering to their guidelines. All right. So keep that in mind. For childcare center owners, having clear financial records ensures that you are able to meet regulatory standards. It helps you to avoid any type of tax penalties, and it helps you to be able to make more decisive decisions about staffing, any type of supplies that you may need, and any type of facility improvements. For cleaning company owners, when you know exactly where your money is going, whether it's for payroll, whether it is for supplies, whether it's for equipment, you can manage cash flow better and be able to improve your profit margins. I'm sorry. All right. So you're able to manage cash flow better and you're able to improve your profit margins. All right. So organizing your financial records not only helps you to manage your day-to-day operations, but it also helps you to prepare for audits. It helps you to prepare for tax season and any type of financial reviews that may come about. All right. So think of it like decluttering your home, right? You might not enjoy it at first, but the result gives you such a peace of mind and it brings about a certain level of efficiency. All right. So next, let's get into how you can organize your financial records effectively. All right. So here are 3 key steps that you can apply regardless of what type of industry that you're in. All right. The first step, you want to make sure that you are digitizing your records. Going paperless is an absolute game changer. All right. No more doing things the manual way. You need to go paperless and you need to digitize. All right. So using some type of cloud-based system like QuickBooks Online or Google Drive makes everything accessible. You're able to back it up and it's easily shareable. All right. And before we close out, I will give you just a quick little run through of the different types of benefits that QuickBooks has. All right. For nonprofits, you can store grant agreements, donor information, and financial reports digitally so that it's all at your fingertips when you need it. It's all in the same place. All right. For childcare centers, imagine having instantaneous access to enrollment records, right? To your payroll records and to facility maintenance costs. All right. Having all of that in one place. All right. And then for cleaning companies, you want to make sure that you're keeping track of equipment purchases, fuel costs, and employee hours. You want to make sure that you're keeping up with those electronically or digitally. All right. Because it's definitely going to help you save a lot of time. So go to Nugget. Start by scanning all of your paper receipts, all right, and statements, and create a system that categorizes these files by year, by vendor, or by type of expense. Okay, the goal is to make it easy to find any document within minutes. Okay. And you don't even really have to scan, especially like the statements. Maybe you do the paper receipts, but the financial statements, you can usually download those from, from your bank. All right. Step 2, you want to create clear financial categories. So it's critical that you have clear and defined categories in your financial system. For nonprofits, you should separate program expenses, administrative costs, restricted funds, non-restricted funds. You need to make sure you're separating all of this because it makes it easy to report to your donors and to your board members. All right. For childcare centers, categories like staff wages, supplies, curriculum costs, maintenance, all of those expenses will give you an accurate picture of where your funds are going or where you need to kind of reallocate some things. All right. Cleaning companies, categorizing expenses such as payroll, travel expenses, equipment expenses, supplies. Categorizing these things can make it easy for you to see where your biggest costs are. All right. Maybe some things you need to consolidate, or maybe you need to figure out maybe a different type of cleaning solution that's, less expensive, but still give you the same results. All right. Things of that nature. All right. So tip, make sure that you avoid overcomplicating your categories. You don't want to overcomplicate them or have so many that it makes it hard for you to understand your overall financial picture. All right. You want to keep it simple. You want to make sure that you're keeping it relevant to your specific business needs. So if you're using QuickBooks or any other software, most systems have pre-made templates that you are able to customize. Okay. And the next step, step 3, is you want to, if you're able to, automate recurring transactions. All right. I promise you that automation is your best friend when it comes down to streamlining your business processes. All right. You are able to automate things that are monthly, things that are going to come out every month or every quarter, whatever the case may be. You like maybe mortgage, or you're paying rent for a facility, utilities, insurance, right? Subscription services, what do you call them? I'm sorry, storage spaces. All right. A lot of people have those in their own, usually have them for like 6 months at a time, a year at a time. And those types of expenses, you want to make sure that you are automating those so that you're not actually having to get in and reconcile those or input those every month. All right. When that expense hit your bank account, it's going to automatically identify what that is and how much it is. And in a way, it's like a pre-type approval type thing. Like they know that this is something that you set up as reoccurring. So we know that this is a legitimate expense. All right. It also helps you from, missing payments, try to remember if you actually paid it, and things of that nature. All right. So for childcare centers, you want to automate tuition payments, payroll, recurring facility costs. This only saves you time and reduces the risk of you, of course, like I said, missing payments, missing bills. For cleaning companies, for those of you that have regular contracts or regular customers, it will benefit you to automate those invoices and those payments because it's going to ensure that you have a steady flow of cash, and you don't have to deal with any type of manual entries. All right. So the most financial software that allows you to set up recurring transactions, most of them will allow you to set up recurring transactions. All right. So it takes about 5 to 15 minutes, just depending on how many transactions you have every month, to automate as many payments and invoices as you can, as frequently or as often or as many as the particular program that you using will allow, and it will save you hours down the road. Okay. So we talked about the importance of organizing your financial records, right? We've talked about digitizing those records, all right? And we talked about why it's important to have, the clear financial categories, why it's good to automate these recurring transactions and so forth. And so now let's talk about maybe give like a real life example, right? So I worked with a nonprofit organization that was facing not really significant financial challenges, but just being able to stay organized, right? They were getting so many different revenue streams, but they also had a whole lot of expenses going out, all right? And it was difficult for them to understand where what is going based on what is coming in. So their books were were kind of a mess. Program expenses were kind of mixed with administrative costs, and there were no clear categories in place. Sometimes there were personal stuff mixed with business, which is always a no-no, by the way. So they were missing out on funding opportunities because their finances were so disorganized. They were missing out on deadlines, reporting deadlines, because they didn't have the information, readily available in front of them or in a format where they could understand what they actually need to report. So we started by digitizing everything, right? We set up clear financial categories. They actually use QuickBooks Online, by the way. I went in and we set up the chart of accounts that were specifically to them. All right. Automated the recurring expenses. So within not even months, within weeks, they had full transparency over their business finances. They were able to secure more grants. They were able to get reoccurring donations and grants. And they were able to provide their donors and sponsors and board members and so forth with reports very quickly. All right. So the organization, they became much more efficient and their stress level dropped dramatically. All right. And then the leaders were able to do what they do best. All right. Which is bring in money for their programs and so forth, so they can make sure that they are making the difference that they want to make in their communities. All right. So imagine that for your business or for your nonprofit, right? How would it feel to have that level of control and clarity over your finances? All right. So before we wrap up, I would like to kind of go over just two of the main questions that I get asked frequently, whether it be from potential customers or current customers. And the first one is basically, how do I start if my records are already a mess, right? What is the purpose of even starting to get everything cleaned up or trying to organize everything if it's already a huge mess? Okay, well, that's a great question. All right, and trust me, if you have that question, you are not alone. The key is to start small, right? You have to start somewhere. So when you start, you want to start small so that you are not overwhelming yourself from the get-go. All right. And then you want to break it down into manageable steps. All right. Like, you want to start with current month things. You want to focus on getting this month's financials in order first. All right. So this would give you a clear understanding or a clear picture, clear snapshots of where you are at this moment. All right. And then you can work backwards from there. So once you get the current month organized, you can gradually go back through the previous month. So you don't have to tackle everything at once. Okay. So set aside 30 minutes a day or a couple of hours a week to work through this particular task. All right. Then you want to categorize as you go. So you want to create categories for your expenses and for your revenue streams, and start putting each transaction in its proper place. So if you are getting revenue, states, whatever it is, maybe from state government, and then you also have federal government, and then you also have private donors and things like that, you can categorize those where you have all of your federal donations under one category, all of your state under one category, all of your corporate donors under one category, and so forth. All right. So when you go and you run your reports, or you get asked how much money are you getting from federal funding or so forth, you can go and have that specific number at your fingertips. All right. So you want to make sure that you're creating those categories for your expenses and for the revenues that you have coming in. And then you want to start making sure that you're putting those particular transactions in place. So if you're using a system like QuickBooks, it can help you so much in tracking everything in real time. All right. And then lastly, you want to seek help if you need it. All right. If you're feeling overwhelmed, right? If this is where if you're feeling overwhelmed and this is just not your cup of tea, this is not your strong point, right? This is not your expertise. Okay. This is where you want to hire a professional bookkeeper, because it would definitely make a difference. All right. The investment is worth it. So sometimes it's easier and faster to get outside help to get everything caught up. That way you're able to continue doing the things again like that you need to be doing. And you're not no longer stressed or frustrated about something that you really don't understand or have any idea how to tackle. And then it just makes it easier for you. All right. So again, you want to start with your most recent records because they are the most relevant, all right, for making future decisions and for planning in the future, all right? And then as you gain control of the present, then you can go back and you can clean up the past, all right? Does that make sense? Good deal. And then the second question that I get asked a lot in different variations, but it really comes down to the same thing is, what if I don't have QuickBooks? Or what if I can afford QuickBooks? Are there other affordable options out there? Absolutely. Okay, while QuickBooks is a powerful tool, it's actually my favorite. That's what I work with. I make sure I tell my clients that up front. I'm a QBO girl all the way. But there are other budget-friendly options that can help you manage your financials effectively. All right, and here are just a few. There are others, but here are just a few that I know about, that I know some that have had experience with it, and so forth. So Wave Accounting. It's a free accounting software that works well for smaller businesses and like grassroots or starter nonprofit. It offers invoicing. It helps with expense tracking, and it even has some payroll features. All right. So the best part is there's no monthly fee for its basic features. Now, if you want some additional features or more advanced, it starts to charge from there. But there's no monthly fee for the basic features. All right. Xero, this is another excellent option. It's a bit more affordable than QuickBooks, especially for small businesses. It integrates over 800 applications and allows you to manage inventory. It's really good at helping with managing payroll and other expenses. Also, Excel or Google Sheets. If you're just getting started and you want something really simple, and you can set up basic bookkeeping with spreadsheets. All right, because people do it. It's been done. Because those spreadsheets can actually be imported or exported into whatever financial software that you eventually end up using. All right. So it requires a bit more manual work when you're using the spreadsheets and so forth, but you can create templates for tracking income, expenses, and cash flow and so forth. All right. Also, the last one is Zoho Books. Again, there are others out there. These are just the ones that come to mind. This is a good option for those looking for like a robust but cost-effective solution. Zoho Books offers a lot of the same features as QuickBooks, but depending on what you're looking for, depending on the options that you need or features that you're needing, it can be done. You can get it at a lower price. All right, but no matter which option you choose, the most important thing is that you have a system in place that works for you, that works best for your organization, right? That works best for your business operations. So the sooner you get your finances organized, the easier it would be to make informed decisions and to stay compliant, right? Also help you to stay away from having to pay fines, get in trouble, from a tax perspective. So you don't need to spend a lot of money to get organized. All right. You don't need to. It's necessary that you get organized. All right. So start out small. You have to start somewhere. So the right system is one that's affordable, one that's easy to use and scalable as your business or as your nonprofit grows. So like I mentioned, if you start out using Excel or Google Docs, Google Sheet or whatever, just make sure that it's something that can be scalable, that can be integrated with whatever system that you decide to use as your business grows. All right. So before I close out, I wanted to just show you just a couple of things in QuickBooks, and it logged me out. Sorry about that. Give me just a second. Let me log back in. All right, so here is just a company that I will always create just to kind of give little small tutorials or something like that. But when I talk about your transactions and so forth, you want to get in here and you want to your chart of accounts is what your categories are going to be. So it's what your expenses are going to be versus what your revenue is going to be, right? So your expenses could be anything from furniture and fixtures, all right, machinery and equipment, vehicles, buildings, lands, anything of that nature, organized, whatever the case may be, all right? You want to make sure that you are using the titles that correlate with your business functions, your business operations. Okay, so if you're a child care center or a cleaning company, or a lawn care company, it's likely that you're not going to have like restricted funds coming in or things like that, or that you're probably going to have a lot of like things for travel or conferences or things of that nature, right? You're going to have your expenses going to be more tailored towards actual like day-to-day operating expenses. Okay, so this is what that looks like over here. One thing that I want to show as well is that the budget feature in QuickBooks is absolutely amazing. All right, you can create a budget, you can import one. You can decide what type of budget you want, profit or loss, which tells you what your income and expenses are, and so forth. And then you can budget format, it can be subdivided and so forth. And you just click on next. And here's the main thing that I want to show is that you can put in, say, if you for maintenance revenue, whatever revenue you say you're going to get, it may be maybe 100,000 that you think that you're going to get. That means that this is how much you should be getting. Million. This is how much you should be getting a month. All right. So you're able to kind of play around with this, and then you're able to compare it to actuals. Right. You're able to run these report based on what you budgeted, and compare it to what you actually brought in, what you actually spent. Okay, I absolutely love this feature in QuickBooks. It's definitely a game changer. All right, reports. That was another thing that it has features for. It has your balance sheet, profit and loss. You can actually create some of your own that tailored to however you like them to look. So based off of your transactions and everything, you can run your reports. You can do it based off of last month. You can do it this year to last month, and just run the report. And it gives you, the information that you're looking for, right? So you have 127,000 bank account, and so forth. To have your assets, and then you have your liabilities. You're able to click on the numbers, and it actually shows you everything, whatever that particular number is made up of. So again, this is just, just a quick snippet of what QuickBooks can do, the benefits of it. But again, the first thing you're going to do is your chart of accounts, because you want to make sure that your revenues, your income, and your expenses match up with what your business operations are for, so that when you run your financial statements, it makes sense to you, makes sense to your donors, your board, to your investors, and so forth. All right. So now that we've covered the essentials, all right, it's time to take action. So the longer you wait to organize your finances, the more stress, the more confusing, the more convoluted, the more mess that you're going to create. All right. And year end is quickly approaching. Okay. October just started, seems like, and we're already October 16th. Right. So I'm offering free consultation to help you organize your financial records and to get you on track before the year ends. So whether you're running a nonprofit organization, a child care center, cleaning company, lawn company, whatever it is, this is your chance to set yourself up for success. All right. So you can end the year strong and start the new year off right. All right. So scan the code right here on my screen. You can scan that, and it will take you to the link where you can schedule a time to meet with me. Again, you get a one-on-one free 30 minutes with myself. I give you one free strategy on what you can do based on your current situation, that one strategy you can implement instantly, and also provide you with the replay of our conversation. All right. So let's get your financials organized so you can focus on growing your business, your organization, and you're not worrying about paperwork. All right. Also, I have a new ebook available for purchase. It's called Nonprofit Funding Mastery: Guaranteed Ways to Win Youth Program Grants. It is ideal for nonprofits who are focused on youth development. The ebook is perfect if you're seeking actionable guidance from a grant writing expert. Here's the link here. And guess what? It is only $49. All right. So $49, you get actionable guidance on how to start winning those grants to help support your youth development programs. All right. So that's all I have. I hope you found this information to be beneficial, to be helpful to you. Again, scan the QR code here to schedule a consultation. Do not wait. Year end is coming up. All right. So you are in now the time where you need to be getting your finances in order to make sure that you are able to file your 990, to make sure that you are able to file your Form 1040s and so forth. All right. So yep, I'll see you all next week for the next session of our fourth quarter game plan series, where we'll dive into talking about understanding your financial statements, your financial reports. Okay, so thanks so much, guys, for joining me today. Remember that organizing your financial records isn't just about bookkeeping. All right, it's about setting yourself up, setting your business up, setting your nonprofit up for long-term success. All right. I'll see you next week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here as we continue our series. Have a great week.